Did you ever wonder when the world would end? After the failure of the 2012 prediction, you might have given this some serious consideration. Well, apparently, so did science. The Doomsday Clock was a famous clock set in 1947 as the nuclear arms race began, and it has since focused on risks from nuclear technology and climate change, with fluctuating results. The clock is essentially a symbol that metaphorically represents the hypothetical likelihood of a man-made global catastrophe. The catastrophe is represented by midnight, and the Bulletin's opinion on how close the world is to a global catastrophe is represented by a number of minutes to midnight, which are set in January of each year. The main factors influencing the clock's setting are nuclear risk and global warming that could inflict irrevocable harm to humanity. Before the world comes to an end, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, and like this video so that you know what to do if the clock strikes midnight. To give you an idea of how the clock works, the initial 1947 setting of the Doomsday Clock was 7 minutes to midnight. 2 years later, the Soviet Union tested its first atomic bomb, officially starting the nuclear arms race, so the Doomsday Clock was reset to 3 minutes to midnight. In November 1952, the US tested its first thermonuclear device, and the Russians followed suit, after which the clock was set to 2 minutes to midnight at the beginning of 1953. This remained the clock's closest approach to midnight. The fall of the Berlin Wall and the Iron Curtain in 1990 saw the clock turn back to 10 minutes to midnight, and in 1991, the United States and Soviet Union signed their first Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, and the Soviet Union dissolved, bringing the clock to 17 minutes to midnight, which is the farthest it's ever been since its inception. What's scary is that most recently in January 2020, the clock has been set to just 100 seconds, the closest we've ever been to an apocalypse. But don't run and grab your chocolate bar and scoff the lot out of fear of not getting to safety after everything goes haywire in the next couple of minutes, because the Doomsday Clock is luckily more of a representation than an actual countdown. There is one scary thing about the Doomsday Clock though, and that is it's now set at the closest humans have been to the end of days. And that was before Korea decided to unfreeze its pause on nuclear testing. The other huge problem is that people just aren't taking the clock seriously. The committee, who met in November to discuss the time, blamed America and its president for some of the misinformation. It called out the Trump administration for disbanding science committees and sowing distrust in the media by labeling it fake news, which we are sure you have heard at least once. This has meant that people just aren't taking climate change seriously. The last time the clock ticked on and the board pushed the time forward was back in 2019, when it moved up 30 seconds to reach 2 minutes before midnight. Once again, this was a combination of nuclear concerns and climate ones. Do we never learn? Apparently not, and time is ticking away. There is some good news though. The time can be reversed. It just takes acts of peace and conservation to do it, moving the time further away from midnight. But we haven't done that yet. All it would take is for the world to take climate change seriously. How many times do we want to turn back the clock? Now, we have a legitimate opportunity to, and we aren't going to? Don't be one of the lost seconds. Make changes today and be a saved one. In 1991, the clock's hands were positioned the farthest away from midnight that they've ever been, which was an incredible achievement. This was because of the end of the Cold War and the signing of the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, signed by the US and Soviet Union. That document moved the clock back to 17 minutes from midnight. If nothing else, it proves there is hope. We can turn back time. People tend to call the clock a gimmick, even though its position is backed up by legitimate scientific and geopolitical analysis of some very important people. What isn't a joke, though, is what it represents. So should you be terrified by the Doomsday Clock? Well, there's no need to start building your doomsday bunker just yet. After all, the clock is meant to serve as a reminder of the perils we must address if we are to survive on the planet, according to the Bulletin. What are your thoughts? We want to hear them below in the comments section. And please, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, because we'll be making great content until the clock hits midnight.